I'm Lauren Kelly.
And I'm Chelsea Beers, and you are listening to...
It's ApPARENT. Because for some people, it's just not obvious.
A weekly podcast where we discuss and laugh about parenting, all the joys and sorrows, and all the special parts of us that died as individuals. While drinking booze.
Cheers!
Hi!
Have you ever noticed that when I make any cocktail...
You just jump right in. I like that, yeah.
With any cocktail with a juice, that I always add water.
That's not necessarily true.
Well, okay, I add water or more alcohol.
There it is, okay.
Because I cannot, and I like juice, but I've never had juice like full, like by itself, without it being watered down.
Why?
I don't know.
It's too sweet?
Heavy.
Oh, heavy.
Thick.
Yeah.
Thick.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, the only time I've had juice by itself, I guess, is when I've juiced it.
Okay.
Like if I've made a vegetable or fruit juice in my juicer, then I'll drink that. But I treat it more like a meal.
So you won't put water in that?
I don't put water in that, no.
Okay.
But I normally use really watery vegetables. Like I'll use cucumber or celery that are really pretty watery. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's very strange. Even if I really am craving, orange juice at a restaurant, I'll get one and then I'll just take a little bit and add it to my water and I'll give the rest to my husband.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very...
Because I really just want a little, just a... So same thing. You know, when I make myself a cocktail, if it's got any sort of juice in it, I prefer for it to have
more alcohol or water in it.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So now my volume television thing is not that weird. You know that? Because that's definitely weird.
I mean,
it's weird.
Just trying to hydrate, I feel.
Don't you dare try to gift wrap this weird shit.
Whatever. You're so anti-odd numbers that you didn't even say it's odd. I feel like that's odd, Lauren. That's how removed you are.
I see what you did there.
But I'm hydrate every day.
Odd numbers. I like multiples of 5. Remember?
It's so strange.
No,
yeah.
It's not.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
right.
30. Yeah, I
Very
got
good. Schoolhouse Rock. Did you write?
It was the first thing I learned how to do. Multiples of 5.
Yeah, totally.
It was 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Lauren, Chelsea. Lauren, Chelsea.
We practiced that for 15 minutes before we started.
You know what I wanted to talk to you about today?
What?
You don't have one of these, I don't think, because you never told me you have.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Alexa or Google.
No.
These little boxes or little things that we have in our house. So you know how back in like the 50s, well, we weren't alive then, but they were always so worried about the telephone and, FBI and all this shit.
Now we invite it into
our house. And now
we
literally, and even our phones. Have you ever had the circumstance happen where you're talking to someone about something like your friend and then you go onto Facebook or whatever and it comes up? Like I was talking about, I forgot what it was now. Darn it. Oh, I know what it was. I was talking with my little sister about an invention that I think should happen where when you're a side sleeper, it's like something that goes between your breasts to not only gather the sweat, because I sweat a lot in my sleep, but to hold your other breast up off your other breast. And we were talking about that, and she's like, that's a really good invention. And then the next day on her Facebook, she saw an ad for this little tube that you put there. When you go to bed. I'm not kidding you. And she's like, I think our phones are listening to us. And I'm like, I can't handle it. So anyway, I was thinking about it the other day.
Our phones are literally on the table while we're talking.
And we have them here every time we record. So we are screwed with the things we talk about.
Oh, man.
I was thinking about this the other day. Driving home, I hear on the radio asking Alexa, which is one of those gals, to search something. And the way you do it, right? Because I have Google on my phone. So you say, okay, Google, find me, blah, 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 blah.
See, now my phone just turned on because you said, okay, Google.
Stop it.
It did. Couldn't recognize your voice.
Oh, my. See, now that's creepy. Because I have to literally go to the Google thing to do that.
No, mine you can just say, yeah. Because mine's a Google phone.
So you do have one.
Right. I just don't have the home thing.
Oh, okay. Well, you do have one. Okay, so.
Yeah, I have a Google phone, so it's just like it's built into the whole thing.
That's so crazy. Okay, so here's my thing. Not only to me is that a little bit creepy, but what bothers me about it, and I didn't think about this until the other day, what we are teaching people, and hear me out, is that you can just tell something and someone what to do without saying please and without saying thank you. And that really bothers me. It really bothers me. Because I'm trying to raise kids that are like, can I have the salt, please?
Right.
Can you hold the door for me, please?
Right.
Where is this thing, please? Can you please tell me that? And then when I do, thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And they've really struggled with that, my boys.
Really?
Yeah. When they say something, I say, please. And then they'll say, please and thank you. Like, that's what they say. Please and thank you.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, you guys need to start using your manners. And it wasn't until I heard this on the radio the other day that I realized we are literally teaching people that you can just tell someone what to do. Find me an Asian restaurant on 5th. Okay. 14 Asian restaurants came up on 5th. I don't know what city that is. Clearly, right. Chinatown. I don't know. Right. But
yeah, they're affluent in the Asian
Koreatown.
Restaurant
I don't know.
Industry.
My point is that it really bothers me, and this is literally our life. So think about our kids. They're just looking on Google for half of their things that they need and want. And they're not asking and saying please and thank you.
Huh. Yeah, I honestly never, ever thought about that. I have no response, which is good for podcasting.
I mean, I don't know if half of the people think about things the way I do, because I was the person who thought about why sheeps don't shrink in the rain and wool sweater sheep. Wool sweaters do shrink. Wool sweaters shrink and sheep don't shrink. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I finally figured out why.
But they're an animal. Like, they're on a body. The body's not going to shrink.
No, but that's not the real reason why. The real reason why, because I can tell you're curious, is because
I came here with
sheep's wool
in my brain
on the body is the original form. And when they take the wool off, they put it through a spindle and stretch the wool. So then they can use it for sweaters and mittens and whatever else you want to decide to make out of wool. But when that wool gets wet, it goes back to its original form. So then it shrinks. And no one else thought about that. And now I am thinking about Alexa and Google.
Stop saying stuff. My phone's going crazy.
Hello, how are you? Great. How are you, Google? Please. And I want to know, too, if you said, Google, will you please tell me, would it say that? And then if you said thank you, would it say you're welcome? Let's try it.
Let's try it right now. Okay. So let's turn the silence off.
It doesn't recognize my voice.
Okay. It doesn't recognize your voice. What are we going to ask it? Let me turn the media up. Media sound.
Ask it why sheeps don't shrink in the rain.
Okay. Okay, Google. Why don't sheeps shrink in the rain?
Please. You forgot to say please.
Here's a YouTube result.
The whole point in doing it was to say please and be respectful.
Okay, excuse me.
Try it again.
Do you want to try it?
She doesn't recognize my voice.
Okay, Google. Why don't sheeps shrink in the rain, please?
Here's something from YouTube.
Thank you, Google.
I'm happy to help.
Oh, that's nice.
See? She's respectful.
So you can be respectful.
See?
Also, it was strange that you asked please at the end. Normally, like...
Oh, okay. Do you want to see if the result changes?
No, I'm just saying normally you would say, will you please tell me, blah, 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 blah. You wouldn't say please at the end.
Jesus Christ. Do you realize you're being ridiculous?
I don't know. Is it? I'm glad that she responded that way, but had you not said thank you, she wouldn't have said anything back.
Well, of course not.
Right. So my
Because
point is
she's
that we're
respecting our time because she knows that we're lazy fucks that can't open a book. So she's
go
like,
to the library and
"Sweet,
look it up in the
I
encyclopedia.
know that she's super busy. I don't want to disrupt her with, hey, thanks for spending time with me today, Chelsea."
I think she should say that. I think she could just say, I found a video on YouTube. You're welcome. That's what I think she should say. I that's my point. I mean, come on.
I think they did a parody about that on a Super Bowl commercial. Like they had, like if Google takes a day off or something, damn it, stop saying Google. They did something like that, and like Gordon Ramsay was a voice, and then Rebel Wilson was a voice.
Okay.
And so they did all this stuff where they were answering your questions. You know, like someone said, you know, how do you make a grilled cheese sandwich? And Gordon Ramsay was like, are you kidding me? It's the name is the fucking recipe. Like, you know,
It's cheese. It's grilled.
It was pretty funny.
Except it's really not, because if you just put cheese on the grill.
And then they had a Saturday Night Live did one that went viral where it was like Alexa for old people. And it was that one was really, really well done too, where, you know, like they were repeating themselves over and over again, and it was really, really funny.
Well, yeah, there was a video about that, a grandmother that she couldn't say, okay, Google. She just would ask the question. Sorry, there goes the phone again. But you have to say that to wake it up. Mm-hmm. So she was trying to remember how to do it, and it's hilarious.
There's actually, in Alexa, you can say computer and she'll respond the same way. Or there's one other thing that you can say. So there's a couple different like wake up cues.
But think about if it didn't answer you until you or unless you said please and thank you.
Right.
What if you had to say please in order for them to answer you? Then we would be teaching manners.
Right. And
which I think whoever invented these things, you should have that in there.
Failed us.
Because everybody's just going to be walking around here rude as hell, talking to people. Hand me the salt. Yo, turn that off.
But
no one says thank you for holding the door.
But
why?
I think you're also giving it a lot of credit. If I'm going to play devil's advocate here, hold on, I let you have your turn. I think you're giving it a lot of credit. First of all, not everyone has that bitch in her home. Not everyone has that shit on their phone. Not everyone has that. But also, you teach them from the get, Chance knows he doesn't get anything unless he says please. And when he walks away, he has to say thank you because I will take it away from him. So like I'm laying a foundation for him. Granted, he's still doing sign language, which I think is
adorable.
Now it's cute, but I'm worried that it's stunting his need to say it vocally now because he's going to be 2. And so he's still rubbing his tummy to say please, and he's still, you know, hitting his chin to say thank you, which is what you do in sign language. But we're trying to get him to talk now, and so it's like, okay, but say it.
Yeah, that's tough too.
And so, you know, now we're trying to switch it up a little bit. But, I mean, we're getting responses. So, you know, we're laying down that foundation. So I think that there's this sweet spot where I get it. I understand what you're saying. I don't know if I 100% agree with the fact that it's going to change how people interact with humans.
Of course it is.
I don't.
Because this is still the beginning. Think about when all this technology began. I mean, we're like a year, 2 years in at this point. And this is pretty brand new. And we're talking, this is what the majority of teens especially use. So the older they get, that's what they're going to know.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, we established it, my kids, a long time ago. Please and thank you when someone opens the door. If I held the door for you, you should be saying thank you.
Right.
And
I'll say that to adults now.
They still should. But how many people do you have that don't? Do you run into a lot of people who don't say it?
Because absolutely, I do. But I'm not going to credit that to Alexa. I'm not.
Right. And right now, again, it's pretty early on. It's 2 years in.
Right.
But fast forward 5 years from now, when the majority of people do have it, and the majority of people are using it, and the majority of teenagers are now, 18 plus, yeah, I think that will definitely be an influence. Because right now it's just new technology and people love the idea of it.
Right.
But if this is how we're learning to interact and this is how they will start to, I mean, it's just like text messaging, right?
But I also,
kids text message before they pick up the phone. My kids have gone so far as to say, can I use your phone to call so-and-so? And all they do is text.
Right.
So that's literally how they communicate.
But I also think that you are, I mean, I think that, I think that, yes, I do think in 5 years' time, you know, it will progress and it will, you know, be more of a staple in people's homes and in their lifestyles. I totally agree. But I also think that human beings individually are smart enough to know when you're dealing with a human and when you're dealing with a robot, you know? And so I think that this is just me also playing devil's advocate and just, you know, having another point of view.
Right.
But I do understand. I have just literally never thought of the fact that please and thank you are omitted from the conversation with Alexa. And I've never thought about it. And now I'm going to think about it all the damn time.
Right.
So you've ruined me.
I'm sorry. Or I fixed you. My point is that, you know, it's even, I think technology has kind of taken over the human species. And I know that we're capable of communicating on that level, but I think it takes it away. Another example that I've had is at work, right? We had this break room and we would sit there and everybody else was always on their cell phone. And this one guy, his name's Hansel. He is so great, such a cool guy. Neither one of us, whenever we are both in the break room together, if I'm just there by myself, I'm on my phone. Mm-hmm. But if someone else was ever in there with me, I was having conversation with them. Mm-hmm. Talking about random stuff. And he left work recently. He decided he quit. And I said, I'm going to miss having lunch with you because we literally would have really genuine conversations just about random stuff. I mean, it was never heavy, but I really enjoyed that because it was so different now. People don't do that. See, and even you and I, we have a podcast and we talk to each other. So we have that interaction on a regular day basis. There are people that they don't talk to anybody all week.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
That's why Catfish is such a big hit. Are you kidding me? These are people that you know, are kind of hermits. They don't interact with human beings, and then they have these relationships, but it's through chat rooms and through apps and through texting and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, he knows all the right things to say and he has my heart, blah, blah, blah. Oh, have you ever talked to him? No, not on the phone. No, I've never seen him. No, I'm not video chatting. No. And it's like, hello, hello.
Right.
And it's shocking to me.
Sad,
you know what I mean?
And concerning.
It really is, you know, and I'm just mad I didn't think of Catfish before those two did.
Right.
Because it's the simplest premise for a television show. And
well, can you imagine that? I mean, think about Chance, right? He is so loving. You guys, this kid, I love him. No matter who it is, he gets excited to see them, no matter what mood he's in, even if he's sleepy. And he is so affectionate.
Yeah. And
he's affectionate to everyone.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah. I mean, he is affectionate towards animals. He is affectionate towards his little toy dump truck. I mean, he is just super open. And if technology continues, and I mean, I'll be in his life, so I'll be able to see it. But it scares me a bit because I look at it and the way that it's affected my guys. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, you guys, you're so smart and you're so intelligent and you're so, you know, especially my youngest, he is so good at communicating. Out of all four of us, he does a really good job of saying what he wants and what he's thinking and, you know, making light of a situation or getting serious about a situation.
Yeah.
And seeing things for what they are. And I just worry that that's going to be stunted because of everyone else and everything else. You know, and if that happens with Chance, I mean, I told the kids a while ago, like, if you ask a girl out, you can't text her and ask her out.
Right.
But then I started really thinking about it and realizing that this is how people do it. It's either a promposal or it's a text.
Right.
And what? I'm going to make my kid be the one weird kid that has to reach out to the parents first and then stalker status, it will seem like at this point. that, well, I asked your mom and if it was okay, and do you want to meet me for ice cream? You know?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's like, so he asked a girl out. My youngest asked a girl out and asked her to take her to ice cream. There's a place in town called Double Rainbow. And even him asking her, she was kind of thrown by it. So then the next time he texted, and then she was like, sure.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
But that's where we are at. Do you know what I mean? And what's it going to be like when chances are? I'm sorry. I don't mean to scare you. She's like rubbing her head like, oh fuck.
God. Well, I mean, because I get it. I get what you're saying. I think that, I don't know. I think that I'm just a little, I don't know. And I don't want to say that I'm optimistic and you're not. I don't want to say that
it's okay.
I'm looking towards it with a more positive light and you're not. I don't want to do that. But
I mean, you kind of just did.
Okay.
But it's cool. Like, it's cool.
I just think, yeah, I don't think that his ability to be affectionate and show people that love, because we're showing him how much that means. You know what I mean? And there's nothing that can replace that. So I think that if we just continue doing that, then he will know, you know, kind of that.
The boundary or where the line is.
Right. Or how important that is to a human being. You know, it's like, oh, if I give them a hug, you know, like I'm getting positive reinforcement from that. Great. You know, like I'll continue to do that. Or I don't know.
I heard that women need hugs every day. Did you hear that?
No, I've never heard that.
I heard that women, because of all their hormones, they need hugs every day.
Huh.
And that if they get a hug every day, like a good, genuine hug, that all the other shit in their lives, well, I might be exaggerating a little bit.
I mean, that's
that's my hope. Like,
I like that you go from,
if I've got to get that close to people.
I need to say please and thank you to a fucking robot, but I need hugs every day, damn it. Like, you're all over the place today. It's great. I'm with it.
I like a really good hug, but I hate shitty hugs.
Mm-hmm.
I hate shitty hugs. If you're coming in for a hug, you better literally squeeze me.
Yeah. I
good.
don't know. I'm a big hugger and I love hugging. Lately, and I would say in the past maybe week, less than 2, I don't know. I felt very kind of internal. Like I felt kind of like I'm good by myself. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm shunning human beings or anything, but it's like, it's like I kind of feel like that towards hugs, and it's like, what does that mean? Is it because I'm not saying please to Alexa?
Probably. You have Google in your phone all the time.
Stop saying Google.
Sorry. But I'm not normally like a hugger. Like I don't just go and randomly hug people when I meet them. But I don't turn anyone away if they ever come to hug me.
But I do feel
and I
that.
also,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't done.
Okay. Go ahead.
Or like if someone really
I'm
needs
not getting
a
hug after this. I'm
not today.
No.
I'm regretting giving you one when you showed up. At this point, when I can tell someone really needs a hug, I will totally step in. Yeah. But I don't give hugs just. I don't
willy-nilly.
Yeah, I don't just, hi, how are you? Oh my God, let me hug you. Like, I'm like, hey, like I give you a hug today because I haven't seen you in a week, and that's way too long.
Right. It's very weird because Lauren and I usually
it's a daily.
Well,
if it's not see each other, it's always communication at some point.
It's definitely, And so, but I don't know. And I do feel like because lately I've been kind of like, I'm not really feeling very affectionate or like, giving with hugs. Like I'm not. And I feel like that, like, like there's that weird, like, okay, I'm going to go. All right, we'll see you later.
Maybe your cup's empty and maybe that's your way of, filling your cup first without giving it away.
Is what? Receiving hugs? And I need to be...
You're not going to have to give hugs to people because you're in the process of giving to yourself. So if someone comes up to you and goes to give you a hug, like I did, like you didn't go, don't fucking hug me. I'm not in the mood today.
Right.
But you're not going to just show up and be like, hi, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to be
annoying.
Whatever. Whatever. You always say devil's advocate.
I know.
Which is so strange. It's like, what does that even mean?
Did you see that movie in the 90s?
Yeah, I did.
It was hella good.
I mean,
I didn't even know what devil's advocate meant when I watched it. So I should probably watch it again
We
now
should,
that I
yeah,
have
because you
the
use it a
grasp
lot.
of the English language.
You use
Because,
it a lot.
well, what's another term that I can say where I'm voicing the other opinion of what you're saying? That's too long.
You could say it, and then I could say touche. We should look up touche. Touche.
No, that's not how it works. That's not what touche is. No.
Then what's touche?
Touche is, it's like when...
You're right. Wow, good way to look at it. It's different than my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
You got a point.
Okay, that.
So, yeah. It's the same.
But you don't always agree with my...
You know what? I'll give you a little secret. I very rarely agree with you.
Oh, touche. Touche.
No, that's not true. We have certain things, especially our core values. I think your and mine are very similar, and I think that's why we get along on the emotional level that you and I do. But there's very big differences about you and I and who we are.
Yes.
And you're able to see things that I can't see, and vice versa.
Touche. Yes. I like it.
You know why I don't like it?
Why?
Devil's advocate.
Because it's devil.
No, I have an internal. I have an internal struggle right now. Right.
Okay.
So I'm trying really hard to be, very open and connected to the universe and optimistic, and I'm trying to be positive and use the law of attraction. And if you don't know about that, it's pretty much fake it till you make it, believe, ask, receive. And I'm trying very hard to do these things, and it works. And what they say is when you know it's working, like you'll see things like 1111 or 111 or all these numbers the same. And every time I'm on the treadmill, every time, I look down as it's 6.66 every time. And I'm like, so those are all numbers in a row. And then I go, but they're all sixes. And I literally, for the next 5 minutes of my run, which is beneficial because it makes it go by faster, I'm like, that is so bad. Is it bad? Is it good? Is it good? Is it bad? And I have this internal struggle.
Right. Where it's like these numbers are...
They're all the same, so it's got to be good, but they're all sixes. It's not bad, and I'm not super religious, so they got to be fine, right? But then at the same point, I'm like, ugh, because I've seen people. I had a woman at work who got her change was $6.66, and she was like, "You can keep it."
Yeah,
and I'm like, I just got a tip. Like, cool.
Oh no, that's happened to me at Trader Joe's too. When I worked at Trader Joe's, yeah, there were certain people. It's like, okay, your change or your total is 6. Oh, let me buy this gum. Let me buy this so that it's not that. Yeah. Or
see, that's superstition, right? Like, I don't know if I'm. Well, there are some things I guess I'm superstitious about. That's superstitious, right?
I mean, I think so, but it does have.
It's religious.
It has a religious connotation added to it, so it's like this weird. But people do a lot to. Okay, we used to live on the east side of town in Benicia, and we were on East L Street. Okay, we used to live there, and our address was 666, and we were like, nope. And like my mom switched it, and like they got the address.
Oh yeah, I feel like you told me about
to
that.
668, and so like the address was changed legally because it was 666, and it's like, who would do that to a house? Like you don't. No.
Right.
So.
Right, but then there was that house that Janelle and I were looking at that was 143 Simeon. Remember I told you about in Vallejo?
Oh yeah.
In Glen Cove.
Yes, yeah.
And that's our number is 143, and I'm like, this has to be our first house we buy because it's our number, So maybe I am superstitious. I don't know.
I know.
So yeah, I have this issue with that. So then you say devil's advocate, and I'm just like, oh, you're the reason I see sixes.
It's me. Maybe I'm Satan.
There goes all your hugs for the rest of eternity. No more hugs for you.
That's it?
Gonzo.
I'm going to get them. Now that's all I want. I want to say please and thank you to Alexa, and I want hugs from you.
It was the most devilish she's ever looked. I really want a devil's food cake. I'm trying to get it in before the challenge.
Starting today, Lauren is, last week. When does this come out? Damn it!
I don't know
I
when
ruined
this thing
it.
comes out.
So Lauren's on a weight loss challenge with Danilo right now.
I'm going to be on the way. That's another thing. I'm not going to be able to drink.
I'm so sorry. Huh?
I'm doing a weight loss challenge through my gym, and it's the winner gets $1,250 for the women and then $1,250 for the men. And I'm making Danilo do it just so that we can maybe have a vacation fund. But then I can't drink. That's just empty calories.
You have always been the person who's like, you know what? I will exercise my ass off and I will eat healthy, but I refuse to not let go of my alcohol. You have said that from since day one.
That's literally what I talk about at my AA meetings. I'm just kidding.
Touche.
I don't go to
Touche.
Yeah, you're right.
How long have
it's
we been?
over.
Okay.
It's over.
Thank God.
It ain't over till it's over.
It's over.
It ain't over until you see the flames of.
How long have we been? 6 minutes, 66 seconds.
This is going to be our lowest rated show forever.
Check us out individually on our websites, chelseabierce.com and lauren-kelly.com, to see all the super exciting things we're up to.
And make sure that you like, follow, and share. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter at It's Apparent Pod.
And if you wouldn't mind, please review us. We'd love that.
Yeah, make it count. We out.
Boom. Bye.